I'm scared to sleep. I don't really remember when it started. It definitely was after Ron started staying overnight. And before Melissa and her gang started picking on me.
Here you go, Cat.
Which means it wasn't happening when we still lived in Foxburn.
Morning, sweetie.
Morning, Mum.
How did you sleep?
Okay.
No more nightmares?
No.
Yes.
Good. Right, time for you to head out.
Are you going to work today, Mum?
We'll see. Remember to take your key with you.
Okay.
It hardly seems fair that I have to go to school every day when Mum keeps missing work. But adults are never fair on kids, so that makes sense. Then again, kids don't seem to be nice to other kids either. At least not to me. I wish there was some way we could gang up and rule the world.
Morning, Alice.
Good morning, Greta.
Did you read the next chapter?
I did.
And
I really don't get it. It's all kind of nonsense.
it's not nonsense.
Why does Alice follow the White Rabbit? He's not sensible at all.
But it's an adventure.
If I was Alice, I wouldn't follow the White Rabbit. I'm sure that I'd only make him late if I came along. And what good would that do anyone?
Yeah, but think of all the adventure you'll miss.
I think I've had enough happen in my life already.
You're 12.
Exactly.
Oh, here comes Melissa. I have to go.
Okay. I'll see you on the way home.
Sure, cow.
Greta isn't my friend. Though she is my only friend. It's complicated. Greta was Melissa's friend before she was my friend. And now she sneaks behind Melissa's back in order to talk to me about books. And I like having the friend, but not the pretending not to. Or the name calling. I hear my mum telling me, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me."
But words will never hurt me.
In the city that never sleeps, the big things mean nothing, the small things mean everything, and the devil is in the detail. In this weird world, two men put their ear to the wall of normalcy and listen closely. If something's strange and it doesn't feel good, it might be time to call for Kane and Feels, paranormal investigators. In this, our penultimate episode, Wonderland.
She had legs. That was for sure.
You know, there's a saying.
Oh yeah? Who by?
Socrates. It's less a saying and more an action.
Is it an action or a saying?
It's an action.
Socrates' action.
It takes a lifetime to figure out what you're doing. To discuss and discover how to die.
How to die?
Death is easy. Any fool can die. It takes a lifetime to learn how to die well.
Do you know how to die?
Yes?
No.
From the inside.
Beans. I can't remember the last time I had a good night's sleep. The Acteonsen had visited often since our first encounter, but so had the faces of Regulus and Hanna. Visions of Foxburn Green, the councillors, everyone had tripped into my dreams and left their mark.
Morning, Luce. It's 12:04.
Afternoon, Luce.
Afternoon.
Coffee?
No, thank you.
Anything interesting in the post?
Yes, actually. A letter from an old colleague of mine. He's recently taken over as the head curator of the P&E.
The museum?
No, the bloody ferry company. Of course the museum.
Interesting.
Says here, he's planning to open up a new exhibit on dreaming. There's going to be an opening tonight. The star exhibit is some treasure unearthed in Afghanistan. The Lacanian Stone.
It's a pretty Western name for Afghan treasure.
Yeah, colonialism. What can you do?
Reparations.
How do you atone for stolen culture?
Ugh, big check.
That might work.
Lucifer,
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Go on.
How do you deal with bad dreams?
Well, we could always, hire the services of Kane and Feels.
Funny.
You've been having bad dreams?
Yes, for a while now.
Anything consistent?
No.
Well, in all seriousness, you do what we do with every client. Drill down, find the root, find what causes it, and deal with that.
It's a lot easier if there's like a third party though, right?
There won't always be a third party.
Which leads me back to my original question. How do you deal with bad dreams?
Oh, how do I deal with bad dreams?
I studied Feels. The bags under his eyes, often obscured by his glasses, seemed to sag below the rims. He looked exhausted. Brutus doesn't often open up to me, not fully. I looked at his eyes, glistening, pleading.
I suppose we have been going through a lot of tough cases.
Yeah.
And you never properly learned to master your subconscious, but...
But what?
Your ignorance is what protects you. It's what keeps you on this side, away from their prying eyes.
Yeah, but I'm working with you. They're bound to notice me.
Brutus, listen carefully. There is something coming. If you want to learn, truly, then I can no longer guarantee your safety. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay then. Well, instruction begins immediately.
Kane went back behind his desk and produced a small pewter box with an emerald embedded in the centre. As he opened up the box, I could see tobacco, rolling papers, a grinder, and a sandwich bag full of a dark, reddish-brown herb with flakes of crystal caught between its roots. So what is this?
This is Jungian hemp, grown in the wilds of the Colombian rainforest. The way it works is it boosts your cortex with about 200 times more dopamine than it really needs. You'll become a wakeful dreamer for a short time.
And the black papers are some sort of potent ingredient that makes me able to pass the meta-reality of my vision or something.
No, I just thought they looked cool.
I mean, that's true enough.
You have to think of this like beating a dirt path. With a dirt path, it's communal. It's an agreement. Everyone who wanders down that path beats the grass, hardens the clay underneath, and then people follow that path as well. It's an infrastructure built by a communal agreement.
Okay.
With Jungian hemp, it's like that. What's going to happen is I'm going to prepare you a dose, you're going to take it, and then you're going to keep doing that every day. And before long, the neural paths in your brain that light up when you smoke it will eventually become easier to navigate. But then, sober, you'll have to try and think the way that you were thinking. You have to tread the path as well. Then it stops becoming a novelty of thought and starts becoming a structure of thinking. Does that make sense?
No.
Damn. Well, I tried.
Completed,
I'm
Kane
going to have
chucked
a
the
chat
black
with my
cigarillo
friend
on the
who's running
desk
the
in front of me
museum
and
about
went
this
to get
stone.
his coat.
You stay here and observe the effects.
How am I going to do that?
Whatever, man. It's your experience. Paint. Do write a poem. follow a sonnet structure. You do you. I'll be back this evening.
Sounds good, my dude.
I'll be back.
Bye.
Laters.
Just smoke it?
Yes, just smoke it.
Okay.
It's not scary.
Okay.
The dreams are scary.
Yes.
The Jungian hemp is good.
Okay.
It's good for you.
Alright.
Builds character.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I left Brutus to his meditation, and pondered my decision all the way to the Philip and Elizabeth Museum. Brutus had shown himself capable of mastering dreaming, there was no doubt about that, but he was careful, full to the brim with care. No detachment. I don't care. I couldn't care. Not when so much was at stake. But if Brutus Fields is to care, at least he will not do so blindly. I took the steps 2 at a time, positively bounding. As I entered the museum, I thought about how this building had failed its way into success. Too cold, too metal, and then too small, and then too big. A living, breathing museum. And standing in the middle was Jamie de Havilland, my host. He wore a dark blue suit jacket with a light blue shirt, unbuttoned at the collar. As I cast my eyes downwards, I saw, to my horror, his tanned chino slacks. His face was markless, poreless, his teeth were pearlescent and slightly crooked, and his hair... oh, his hair. Short on all sides, yet slightly fluffy. His aura, I suppose you'd call it, was screaming, howling at its guests, scratching at the tables and surfaces with huge, gnarled claws, hollering at the high ceiling so that all the visitors could hear what it was saying, and what it was saying was, "I am approachable." I blinked. The apparition was gone.
Weird.
At this point, he saw me, smiled, waved, ushered me up. I was, after all, an old friend of his.
Lucifer Kane, how nice it is to see you!
James de Havilland, have we established our paths for watchful eyes, old friend?
Quite. I expected to see you here sooner or later.
I picked sooner.
How have you been? I want to hear everything.
I don't know if there's that much to tell.
Are you still teaching?
No.
Oh, that's a pity. Why's that?
Are you still an MP?
Oh, of course not. I gave that up to come lead this marvellous old establishment.
Well, like you, fate had something else planned for me.
Yes, jolly good.
You know, Jamie, I never would have pegged you for the P&E job.
And why's that?
Well, back at university, I never really thought you had more than a passing interest in history. You were much more involved with the politics department.
Kane, you wound me. You must know I'm very fond of the subject.
Clearly.
I love, well, all of it. But I'm most pleased about our new exhibition, which I imagine you're here to see.
James, you do me a disservice. I am, of course, here to see you, of course.
Sure, and I got into politics because I want to help people. So, shall we?
Lead the way.
I despise everything about this man. The son of a baron, but on the left side of the aisle. A man with no conviction, no sense, no nothing. And a weak handshake, like clasping your hand around a cold kipper. So why was this man here? I saw his aura again, beastly, clinging to the walls. Interesting. Perhaps he doesn't really know why he's here. Perhaps he wanted a change of pace. Perhaps he did it on a whim. Perhaps the decision was made for him. And this new exhibition. We were coming up to it now as we ducked behind the velvet curtain.
Oh. Oh my. Yes, I thought you'd like it.
In front of me, as tall as a lamppost, a huge stone saucer, engraved and etched with gold, creating an intricate pattern on the rock, like a saw wave running through it, with 2 fist-sized crevices making up the centre. It loomed. It persisted. It frightened.
So this
It awed.
is the Lacanian stone.
So, what do you think?
What do you mean?
Do you like it? I think it makes a wonderful centerpiece for our collection on dreaming artifacts. I mean, this is what I'm told. I quite like the Native American dream catchers we have over here. All the French dream journals...
I kept staring deep into the centre of the stone. Something was missing.
What do you know about the centre of the stone?
Well, not much, admittedly. This is a new purchase from the Afghan National Museum. We got it for quite a steal, really. It originally belonged to a 12th century prince. He's notable for spending most of his reign in a coma, only to come out at the end of it completely mad.
You don't say.
According to the guide, missing from the stone are its twin focuses, large gemstones that are believed to focus its Lacanian energy.
I don't imagine the Lacanian stone is its original name, though.
No, according to this, it's known in Farsi as the Sleepwalker's Amulet.
Huh.
It's a pretty large treasure to be an amulet, though.
Not if you're a god.
Oh, yes! That's rather funny.
Jamie, why am I here?
Oh, I thought that was obvious. The exhibit opens early next week. You got my invitation, I hope.
I did indeed.
Splendid! I was hoping you'd be able to retrieve the 2 focuses before the opening.
Oh, that's all?
Oh, we'll pay your way, of course.
Who will pay my way? The museum?
God, no, I will. But I thought you might like to do the Indiana Jones thing.
I would like to do the Indiana Jones thing, yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Lucius.
Lucifer.
Yes, Lucifer. A deal with the devil. Apt.
Yes.
Here I am then, at the crossroads, shaking hands. A deal is struck. I wonder, has the Havilland been here already?
School sucked. But school sucks. It's good when you're learning, but when the mean kids are being mean and the loud kids are being loud, then the teacher is too busy trying not to get the mean kids to be mean, or the loud kids from being loud to notice the rest of us. I think that it's counterintuitive, which was the word of the week.
Hey, Alice.
Leave me alone, Melissa.
God, you're so dirty, Alice. You're so gross, you even have lice in your name.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Maybe that's what you
She goes away if I don't say
anything. A louse. Don't you think she looks like a little squishable bug?
Yeah, a gross, fuzzy bug.
I don't really like this part of the walk. I really don't like Greta on this part of the walk.
You're so poor. Is your mum a great big bug too?
Nice one, Lissa.
This goes on and on. It's an old routine, which is nice. They're not inventive enough to come up with new mean things. New mean is harder to handle. Old mean means I know I can deal with it.
Later, a louse.
Melissa lives closer to school than me, but she has to go on a different road. Greta and I walk in silence for a bit.
So, did you read any more of the book?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you get to the smiling cat?
No, no spoilers.
Sorry.
We talk about school. We talk about the book. Greta thinks it's cool I have the same name as the hero. I like Greta on this part of the walk.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
And I'm alone. Strange how Greta is my friend sometimes, and then isn't at other times. Is that how friends are supposed to work? I thought friends were supposed to always be your friends, not just sometimes. Well, like Man says.
Sticks and stones may break my bones for words. Hello? Hello?
We could stop.
No, thank you.
I get home and Ron is there. I hate it when Ron's there.
The day had passed smoothly enough. I'd used it to become familiar with the hive, to feel its shape and texture, to cradle it, and to find what it had altered and subverted within me. I explained all this to the kettle as I made my 14th cup of tea. I also told the kettle it was in fact my 13th, but that I was superstitious. A fact I wouldn't admit to myself. The day was filled with black and white scribbled comedies and sour soul interludes. I gave a stirring rendition of Sunday My Prince Will Come to the cat, who sadistically never responded to my questions or recitals. Kane came through the door in the late afternoon.
Kane. Feels. Interesting trip.
Oh, rather. Saw a god's amulet. Neat. Any clients?
No. Cat's been hanging around. Hasn't got any chat, though.
Right.
Deeply lonely.
Have you seen my luggage bag?
You threw it in the closet.
Oh, thank you.
You're going somewhere.
Yes. Tel Aviv. After the focusing stone of the Dreamer's amulet.
Huh.
Oh, Brutus.
Lucifer.
Can I ask you a favour?
Fire away.
Today
I am quite high, though.
Yes. I met Jamie de Havilland. He seemed to be harbouring some sort of spectre. He had a trace of other.
How big?
It was quite screamy.
Curious.
Yes. I'm about to leave the country, however, and I won't be around to mitigate the inevitable calamity. I'll need you to make progress with this.
Yes. Good.
And like that, he was gone. As the evening wore on, I rolled another joint and I placed an Ornette Coleman record on the turntable and eventually fell to sleep. In the murky waters between waking and dreaming, it is difficult to tell what is what and which is which. I have vague images of crossing a great desert with mirages of Bassats roaming about, and 1,000-strong army galloped across the great dunes with no particular direction in mind. Found some comfort in that. There was a small pavilion at the top of one such dune, which I dutifully crawled towards on hands and knees, and I pushed through the curtain to find...
Kane.
Feels.
What are you doing here?
I'm your spirit guy.
I had no idea you could jump through dreams.
Think again, dear friend.
Okay, well, the last time you interfaced with me, you were at my bedside.
And where am I now?
Tel Aviv.
Which means...
You're not Lucifer Kane.
Yes!
Then who are you?
I am your spirit guide!
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Who else could you possibly trust in this landscape?
Literally no.
Exactly! Right! We have some stuff we have to do. Follow me!
Okay!
I followed him back through the tents to find myself in a city.
Yes! What do you make of these bushings here?
Not a lot.
Me neither. But they're going to become important later.
How? How will they become important later?
Well, I don't know. Right, let's keep going.
Okay.
We marched briskly into the bush. I followed behind, the branches melting away as I touched the...
Oh! Now, here's something.
We stood in front of the Kane that had left the apartment, sitting in a rough coat, asleep in the airport
Literally
lounge.
no idea. Do you want to see what's in his carry-on?
Sure.
Okay, have a look. Oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder what that's about. Right, well...
Kane reopened the bag of horrors and stepped inside, disappearing.
It's a bit of a squeeze.
It's a dream. How can you not fit in a dream?
You underestimate my issues with body image.
Really? You're literally dreaming. You can, like, fly and stuff.
I can fly.
Of course you can fly. Oh my god.
He disentangled himself from the bag.
You're not on flying in dreams.
Okay, well, I've done it a few times, but it always ends up being, like, a bit grim.
Okay, quick detour. Wow.
We spent a happy hour circling the terminal, buzzing the tower, transforming into jets before we returned to the sleeping figure of Kane.
Man, that was so much fun.
Right? Now, get in the bag.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
As soon as I stepped in the bag, all was quiet. It was a void. I looked for the guide in Kane's form and found nothing. All I could see was a figure silhouetted in the light. I took slow, cautious steps towards it, as it took slow, cautious steps towards me. As I kept moving, I saw to my horror that the figure wore my clothes and had my gait and the face I called my own. Hello? I angled my head. The creature did the same. I put up one hand and waved and again saw my actions mimicked. I reached out to touch it and a chill ran up my spine when it did the same. We both kept reaching, certain the other would lose nerve first when suddenly... Oh... Cool. I felt the cool surface of a reflective glass beneath my fingers. I looked into my own eyes to see they were, in fact, my own. Hi! As I drew my hand away, my reflection pointed to its left. I slowly turned my head to find another me. But this was not a reflection of me, but a reflection of my reflection. Twisted, odd. In telling it, I realized that it was simply my true form, seen as I look rather than seen in a mirror. You're new. Yes. I reeled back, falling to my knees as the creature moved past the glass to where I was standing and smiled.
Great idea. I decked that thing as hard as I possibly could, because I was not about to let some mirror image clone take my goddamn place. That ain't done, no matter how spooky.
I woke up in a cold sweat. That was not fun. But it was very interesting.
I went to Tel Aviv, but being unsuccessful in finding the Lacanian stone, I had chartered a plane to the Ukraine. From Ukraine, I flew out to Moscow, at which point I went to Sydney, Australia, because it's hard to fly from Moscow to New York without people asking questions. During my travel, I looked for 0 clues relating to the retrieval of the Lacanian stone. I knew I would find a contact in Brooklyn's black market. I simply just wanted to spend as much money as I could. I touched down at Newark, popped into the airport bar, ordered the most expensive drink on the menu with the black card de Havilland had given me, and decided to check my phone. I had 17 missed calls from de Havilland, and 1 text from Brutus. I checked Brutus's first, to find it was an adorable ginger cat, grinding its entire face against Brutus's hand. Ah. Right, I should probably talk to my employer.
Kane, I've been trying to get hold of you for days.
I've been looking for the stones.
Israel? Russia? Australia? None of these were any use?
On the contrary, I was able to rule them out.
And you couldn't have just phoned some of these places?
Oh, well, if money's an issue...
No, of course money's not an issue.
Because I was technically in New Jersey, I couldn't get anyone to meet me at the airport. So, as I took the cab that would take me to the island, I booked a room at the Chelsea Street Hotel. Close enough to the metro, but far enough from Fifth to avoid attention. As I checked in, I ordered an old fascist and a daiquiri. I emptied the contents of the minibar into my luggage, and made the call I came here to make.
Hello?
Benny! Hello. It's Lucifer Kane.
Oh, good. You're back in town.
Indeed I am. Can you meet?
I can't tonight. I'm sorry. I'm out with Richard.
Oh, you and Richard are still together.
Yes, our 3-year anniversary.
Ah, funny, isn't it? Last time I saw you, it was with Kenny.
Lucifer.
Or perhaps it was Charlotte. All a blur, really.
I'm not talking about this.
That can't have been more than 6 months ago. So, Chelsea Hotel, 11 o'clock. Nip out for another bottle of wine and some flowers.
11 o'clock.
Thank you, Benny. Benny was a shortish man, harassed and dark. His slender frame
Benny,
not quite
you
filling
come in.
his suit shirt. Excuse the robe, I was about to have a bath.
You, said 11?
Oh, I did, yes.
You've got some nerve coming back to the States, Mr. Kane.
I'm all nerve, you know that.
That I do, Luce. That I do.
I'd have offered you a drink, but I've already worked through the whole minibar.
No sweat. Here, you want this?
What's the strain?
Critical Hitchcock.
I'm about to have a bath, so do you mind if I save it?
Sure, but it's 40 for the bag. Ta. Now, what do you want, Luce?
Oh, you know, I love your stand.
But you didn't fly to the States for it.
You're right. How much do you know of the Lacanian stone?
Never heard of
the
it.
The Sleepwalker's amulet?
Nope. I swear up and down.
How about its twin focuses? So you've seen them?
Only the one.
You're a bad liar, Benny. What can you tell me about it?
The guy who sold it to me was shifty as hell. I mean, they're all shifty as hell. The red one is sight, the blue one's sound.
Sight and sound. I don't follow.
Look, if you don't know, you should not get involved.
It's far too late for that, Benny.
They're like windows between planes. They reflect versions of each other back and forth. Hypothetically, you can see the other side.
Huh.
Weird dreams when I had it. My face, a fractal, 1,000 times spiralling down, big fellas moving around. Basically, a lot of stuff that went on forever. Really makes my brain hurt.
And what of the sound stone?
You can use it to listen.
Sure, but who was the buyer?
I can't tell you that.
Benny?
No, I can't tell you that. Client confidentiality. Everyone gets it, including you, Lucy.
What about Richard?
What about Richard?
If these things are on a need-to-know basis...
I already told him. I told him as soon as you put down the phone. How dare you come into my town on my turf and dangle that over my head? How dare you come here and dig up the past like that? I am not telling you shit, Kane.
But why did you come at all?
Look, just enjoy your stay in New York. Oh, you know you could have asked, right? Like, we're friends, we go back. If you had just waited a day.
Beans. The bath was run. I stuffed towels into the crack of the door. I sank into the tub and lit up. The stone of sight. The stone of sound.
It's odd how the weekend can come when you're not expecting it. If you don't pay attention, it will just arrive.
And so, I don't know if the Queen is all that bad, like she's just doing her best to rule the kingdom, and here comes this girl who just tumbles into her world, and she's just supposed to welcome her?
You like the Red Queen?
I don't like her, I just get her point.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Alice? Sweetie, who are you talking to?
Oh, just a friend.
Oh, wonderful. What's their name?
Greta.
That's a nice name. Is she in your class?
Yeah, we walk to school together sometimes.
Well, she's welcome over any time.
I don't want her here.
Well, if you're sure. She's still welcome any time.
Thanks.
Are you all right, Alice?
I'm fine, Mum.
I know things have been tough recently. With the move and the new school and me working all the time.
No, you don't.
And Mum loves you, you know?
No, he doesn't.
But you can tell me anything.
No, I can't.
Mum, really? I'm fine.
Well, if you're fine. It's Greta, it's for you.
Hello?
Find me. Help me.
Who is this?
Adventure away.
I don't know what you mean.
Where I once was, still I remain.
Oh.
Scar no more, Alice.
I'd put on my boots and my best yellow raincoat.
Mum, I'm going out.
Why? Where are you going?
Greta invited me to her house.
Is Greta's mum okay with that?
Yep.
Be back for tea.
Okay.
I will not be bored. I will not be scared. Not anymore. Not anymore.
You've been listening to Kane and Feels, Paranormal Investigators, written by Jack Fitzpatrick and Oliver Morris, starring Jack Fitzpatrick as Kane, Oliver Morris as Feels, Lucy Lan Luo as Alice, Louis Fox as James de Havilland, Antony D'andrade as Benny, Lauren Clark as Greta, Tess Cocchio as Melissa, and Ruby Todd as Riley. Also featuring the voice of Viviana Padiglia. The program was directed by Jude Hodgson Hann, sound designed by Jude Hodgson Hann and Oliver Morris, and it was a Skadi's Symphony production. If you like the show, tell your friends, leave a review, and find us anywhere on the internet at Kane and Feels. Join us next time in our season finale as Kane and Feels chase Alice down the rabbit hole as we conclude our tale of Wonderland.
I'll give it another 5 minutes, but then I'm going home.